Let's talk family. Let's talk family about the things that impact us as individual family members, as a whole, as a community family, and as a country family. Let's Talk Family Live. Let's Talk Family is a program brought to you by Family Life Ministries. Family Life Ministries is a counseling organization that primarily offers individual, family, and relationship counseling. We have counselors who are available to speak on a number of subjects for your conferences for church, school, or work. Family Life Ministries is also known for its media programs, the Divorce Recovery Program Fresh Start, and its company counseling package, the Employee Assistance Program. Visit our website at www.familylifeministriesjamaica.com. Find us on Facebook at FLM Family Life Ministries or on Instagram at FLMJA, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries FLMJA. We'll give our numbers at the end of this program. Now here's today's episode of Let's Talk Family.
Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Family. Hi, I'm your host, Audra Williams. Here's a reminder from Jeremiah 32:27. I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me? A miracle is an event not explicable by natural or scientific laws. Some define it as a direct intervention of God into the world. Have you ever experienced one? Believe it or not, they happen every day and happened to Joycelyn Lawrence when she was just a teenager. I won't ask her age now, but just so you know, she's what we call today a big woman and a mother. But many thought she'd never see this day. Joycelyn Lawrence, welcome to Let's Talk Family.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So we don't have a lot of time, but you have an amazing story and we want to get as much details as possible. Some of what you say may be even disturbing to some of our listeners, but we'll be as delicate as possible, but we want to still make an impression. So where can we start today?
So we can start from the first indication that I got that I was ill, which would have been when I was, going on 30. I woke up one morning and my face was swollen. So my mother administered home remedies and sent me off to school. Another morning, woke up again, swollen again, but this time it was worse because not only was my face swollen, but my eyes, it was swollen to the point where I could not open my eyes. And at this point, my mom got concerned. So of course, she took me to the doctor. When they checked, they saw no reason for the swelling. However, they gave us a prescription for water tablets and sent us home. The swelling continued because I was taking the pills, but they were not helping. And then my stomach started swelling. So I would wake up any morning. It could be my stomach. It could be my face. And again, my mom took me to the doctor. Again, they found no reason for it. Again, they prescribed the water tablets and sent us home. After the swelling, then I started having pain in my stomach. And when I say pain, I'm not severe pain.
Wow.
To the point where I could not stand upright. And then I started having vomiting because whenever the pain came on, it would make me nauseous. So then I would vomit and then I would have what we call loose bowel or diarrhea. So my mother, she took me back repeatedly and they gave me all sorts of tests, urine, blood, feces, you name it. Any test that could have been done then, they did it. I was admitted into the hospital for observation and tests and all of that. No medical reason was found for what was happening to me.
And how did this affect your school? Because you were a teenager at the time. You should be going to school.
Yes. I had just not too long started going to high school. Of course, I had to drop out because the symptoms, they were so severe. And then they became so consistent that I was not able to function normally, to be able to go to school. As time progressed, my body started deteriorating more. And because of the constant vomiting and diarrhea, I started losing a lot of weight. I became so emaciated. I mean, I was really skin and bone. Then I started having sores all over my body and all of the hair on my body fell off, except for the hair on my head. So you can imagine how that would have affected me as an adolescent.
Yes.
You know, the swollen stomach, the sores, the swollen face, the vomiting, the diarrhea, the constant pain. My menses stopped too, because at that time I started seeing my monthly menses and the flow stopped. It's like I was a walking dead person. The only thing that was still working normally was my ability to breathe. It got to a point where I started having muscle contracts. So my feet, in my toes, in even my tongue.
Wow.
I had to be careful how I would drink because then my tongue would just start folding up painfully in my mouth.
Did that affect your other family members?
Yes, it did, because my mother was a single mother. I did not have the support of my father. So she had 5 of us children and she was struggling alone to raise us. And she's not somebody that is educated. So she was doing what we would call them domestic work for a living. So every time we would go to the doctor, it would cost. Every prescription which I kept getting would cost. After a while, it got to a point where my mother was so overwhelmed. I remember she's saying to me one day, boy, Joy, if God not help you, me have to go to bury you because I do not have any more money to spend on you. Because I would hear her in the night crying in her room, just begging God to help her. Because you can imagine having your child and watching your child literally dying before your face. And you're not getting any answers from the people who should have the answers. So she would be crying.
And I'm sure if you saw that, that would have put even more stress upon yourself.
Oh my God.
As well as your siblings.
It did. I felt so bad. I saw myself as a burden because I already knew that we were having financial issues with a single mother raising all of us. We were already struggling. We were poor. And to have this added burden and to know that it was my life that was the cause of this, it affected me emotionally. It affected me psychologically. Plus, remember, I would have had to be a shut-in by now, dropped out of school. I would have no contact with my friends. As an adolescent, you're not able to have a normal adolescent life. Can you imagine a 13-year-old lying down on the settee day in and day out? You can't go anywhere except to the bathroom when you want to throw up and pass your stool. That was all my life consisted of after a while. Or going out only to go to the hospital or to the doctor.
Joycelyn, did you at any other point in time seek any kind of other treatment?
You know how it is in Jamaica. Once we are sick and there is no obvious medical reason, you're going to seek physician, as they would say, no so. So my father, who though he was not playing the role of a father, every now and then I would see him pop up. So he came by once and I guess seeing my condition, he got concerned. So he told his mother that he was going to take me to get me sorted out. So he took me to a Obia woman, Mother Ramsey at the time. I don't think she's still alive, but that was years.
What did she give you?
Well, the first thing she questioned me and asked me about, what was happening in my surrounding. And she told me that somebody had sent a spirit to attack my mother. But then because I was in the habit of entering my mother's bedroom first. So what we'd call the blow was sent on my mother and the spirit went into her room. And the plan was that it would attack her when she came into the room. But my mother had a habit of sending me with her key into her room for her slippers and waiting on the veranda when she gets home. So Miss Mother Ramsey said that it's because I went into the room first that the spirit possessed me and started doing that destruction assignment.
So Joycelyn, what did she say was the remedy?
The remedy was, first of all, I got a bath. So in a basin with a whole heap of bush and stuff. And then she gave me a quart bottle of a brown liquid substance. Tastes very terrible. And that was prescribed. And that was supposed to be the end of it. But can I tell you, my mother was not yet a Christian, so she allowed all of this to happen. And she allowed me to take the medicine, for want of a better word, because she was by now very desperate. And nothing, no reaction. It's like I didn't take anything. As a matter of fact, instead of getting better, I got worse. My body continued to deteriorate.
So we fast forwarding now, Joycelyn. So you went through the medical system, you went through the other system, nothing worked. So how did your healing come?
Miraculously. There's no other word for it. So my mother got saved within the same time of my sickness. I'm telling you about a 3-year period of time.
So that was when you were about 16.
Right?
Yes.
Mother got saved and she started taking me to church for prayer. So I got baptized as well because, convinced you're going to die, you figure, make it right with God. So I got baptized as well and started going to church. And we had a week of youth convention. And it was in the country, so we went there to stay for the week. One evening, I'm on my way from the house where I'm staying to church. And the pain started coming on me again. By the time I arrived at the church, I could not walk. So I was assisted by my church brethren into an adjoining room that had a bed in it. And they left me there to lie down with a promise that they would come and check on me every now and then. Because remember, nothing could be done for me. So I'm lying in the room all by myself. And all of a sudden, after being in there for a while, I realized that I was losing feeling in my body. That sense of feeling?
Yes.
I felt my body draining of life, right? So I'm draining out and then I'm getting weaker and weaker. I can't talk. I can't move. The only thing that remained, the only sense that remained was my sense of seeing, but my eyes were closed, and my sense of hearing. I heard when two persons came into the room. Apparently it was a room where the choristers would change into their choir gowns to go for church. But these two sisters were late. Thank God for timing. They were late. They came in, they're changing, they're talking to each other. And it had to have been God who sent one of them over to the bed. And she came and she stood over me. I could hear her over me because my hearing was working. And she came, she stood over me and she called the other sister. And she said to her, look at her. And the lady came over and she looked. And she said, see something wrong. And the other one said, yeah, man. She looked like she traveling. You know what that means in Jamaica, right?
Yes, man, I know what that means. But when did it exactly happen? The exact healing point?
Yes, so they took me up. When they realized that I was dying before them, they took me up bodily. And they took me into the church, which at that time the service was in full progress. They entered on the rostrum area because that's where the door opened to.
Yes.
And when they entered, everybody that was on the rostrum, everybody in the congregation saw. And the person that was leading the service stopped the service. And the sisters brought me down at the altar. And the moderator called on everybody to stand up. And they called the people on the altar to come down. And they formed a ring of prayer around me. And can I tell you, the church prayed. The entire congregation and ministers, everybody prayed. And can I tell you, by the time they were finished praying, everything returned to me to the point where I could walk to the seat where my mom was. She had come and gotten me when they came out with me, and she was holding me while they were praying. And I could walk with her on my own to the seat, to sit down in the seat. And I stayed in that service for the rest of the evening, and I was fine. And I went back home after the end of the week. The pain never returned. The swelling never returned. All of a sudden, I realized that my period came back. The sores went away. I'm seeing hair coming all over my body again.
Wow.
It's like just as though I was deteriorating over time, I started experiencing what I would call it a regeneration. And all it took was one prayer of people who believe in the power of healing. And I am alive today. And you say, you won't ask me my age. I am 50. My next birthday.
Oh, Joycelyn, we bless God.
Yes, to God be the glory.
And we wish we had more time to really get into the details of your miracle. But as usual, we never have enough time.
Yes.
So thanks for being here and sharing with us. And to you, our faithful listeners, if you have a miracle story to share, please connect with us via social media. We'll tell you how in a few seconds. Join us next week for another interesting topic. Remember to care for your loved ones and yourself. Have a blessed rest of the evening.
And you feel my life, you're everything to me, and there's nothing else I need anymore.
This was Let's Talk Family, a production of Family Life Ministries. If you or anyone you know would like advice and counseling, call us or head office at 1 Cecilio Avenue at 876-926-8101, 876-929-4360, or 876-920-1034, or center in Portmore at 117 Cecile Avenue at 876-939-7917.
This program was produced at the studio of the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, located at 12 Carlton Crescent, Kingston 10. Call us at 876-926-6059 for your voiceover and broadcasting needs.